If you've watched any of Jada Pinkett Smith's interviews lately, it seems like she is trying her best to embarrass Will. So today on InformOverload, we're counting down the 10 ways Jada Pinkett Smith destroyed Will Smith's career. Number 10, exposing their fake marriage. Jada has now revealed the truth about her relationship with Will Smith, and it is not at all what people expected. According to Jada, her and Will have been separated and have lived completely separate lives since 2016, nearly 20 years after they married in 1997. In a shocking new interview, she detailed more about her relationship, both how it started and where it stands now, which she also talks about in her upcoming memoir called Worthy. While the two of them are still legally married, Jada explained that her and Will are no longer romantically together, though they never actually got divorced on paper. When she was asked about why she's never shared their relationship status before, she said it came down to just not being ready yet and still trying to figure out between the two of them how to be in a partnership. So they hadn't figured out how to present that to people either. When she was asked about what led to their relationship fracture, Jada said that there was a lot of reasons. Quote, "By the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be." Jada says that she has considered a legal divorce, but she has never been able to actually go through with it. Number 9, complaining about their love life. While on the Red Table Talk, some very questionable things came out that exposed the nature of Will and Jada's relationship. Basically, Will implied that the couple's decision to open up their marriage was Jada's idea because she told him that she never believed in conventional marriage and that they need to figure out how to make themselves happy individually. So it was almost like she told him that happiness can be found with other people. But Jada's affair with August started to make a bit more sense when you consider the fact that she's been openly speaking about her disappointing sex life with Will. While talking with Gwyneth Paltrow, Jada outright said that keeping the spark alive in their marriage is hard, implying that although they've been married for almost 25 years, Will still doesn't know exactly what she wants in the bedroom. Quote, "Because I think you expect your partner to know what you need, especially when it comes to sex. It's like, well, if you love me, you should know, you should read my mind. That is a huge pitfall." That must have been a little embarrassing for Will when Jada insinuated that he wasn't meeting her needs, but now it's obvious that she was the one who was pushing for an open relationship all this time. Number 8, obsession with Tupac. For a while, Jada has been criticized by fans for her obsession with the late rapper Tupac Shakur, and so far she seems to have no plans of stopping, even though it probably embarrasses Will to no end. Just last month, she posted a throwback video of herself and Tupac on Instagram. They were dancing along and lip-syncing to the Fresh Prince's 1988 hit song Parents Just Don't Understand. In the caption, Jada wrote, "Here is part of the original video of Pac and I doing a terrible job at lip-syncing Parents Just Don't Understand." And in a 2018 episode of Red Table Talk, Jada opened up to her daughter and her mother about her relationship with him on the Red Table Talk. She claimed that they shared an instant connection upon meeting and became very much inseparable. She said that over the years he wrote her many letters and many poems, and she even read a private one that he sent her, which she claims has never been published. While Jada does get some criticism for how much she reveals about their relationship, it's fair to say that his death had a major impact on her. At one point in the episode, she said, "That was a huge loss in my life, because he was one of those people that I expected to be here. My upset is more anger because I feel that he left me." Number 7, caught lying in her memoir. Jada once again recently opened up about her relationship with Tupac, but this time she claimed that he proposed to her in prison during his stay at Rikers Island. She claimed that it was one of the most painful parts of the memoir writing process, but not everyone was buying her story. In fact, one TikTok user challenged Jada's account with a meticulous timeline that cast doubt on her whole story. She was questioning the authenticity of her narrative about her relationship with Tupac, and in doing so highlighted a pivotal point during the time that Jada claims Tupac proposed to her, as he was already engaged to Keisha Morris. The video questions Jada's consistency when placed against the historical timeline, suggesting that her statements may lack accuracy or cohesion. At the time, Jada was just transitioning into a relationship with Will Smith, who had recently separated from his wife. So the situation raises the question of when this alleged visit to Rikers Island and the marriage proposal transpired. After Tupac's release from prison, he got engaged to Kidada Jones, who is a daughter of music legend Quincy Jones. Kidada had been with him until his death 8 months later, so the timeline just doesn't make a lot of sense, and you can see why people have been poking holes in Jada's story. Number 6, dissing their wedding. On an episode of the Red Table Talk that featured Jada, Will, her mother Adrienne, and their youngest daughter Willow, Jada thought it would be a great time to talk about their disastrous wedding. She admitted that she didn't want to get married to Will and that she felt like she was pressured to do it. Her mother's reaction to her pregnancy with Jaden was just to start planning the wedding because not getting married in their family was not an option. At the same time, Jada was still young and trying to make it as an actress in a very competitive and complicated industry, so things were really rough back then. Marriage was understandably the furthest thing from her mind. Adrienne then brought up how the wedding was pretty much a disaster. She said that Jada was sick, unpleasant, and uncooperative the day of the wedding. But you also have to remember that she was gearing up for one of the biggest moments of her life, and one that she didn't even want in the first place. She was 3 months pregnant at the time, so being sick was probably an understatement. Jada recalled how she was super angry that day, and she even cried while she walked down the aisle, and the whole time Will was just trying to keep up appearances that things were all good. Number 5 admitted to an affair. So by now we all know Jada's affair with August Alsina, but it was a secret that she never wanted exposed and something that she tried to deny right up until the very last minute. This is how it all went down. While promoting his third album, August sat down with the Breakfast Club and claimed that the Smiths, whom he considered to be just like his family, had an open marriage, and Will had allegedly given him permission to date Jada. Quote, "I actually sat down with Will and had a conversation. He gave me his blessing." He also admitted that they deeply loved each other, that he felt like not talking about their relationship was affecting him professionally and personally because it was a secret that was weighing him down. This was explosive when it first came out, and it's clear that Jada would have prevented it if she could. Almost immediately, her publicist came out with statements denying any romantic involvement, stating that the claims were absolutely not true. But it was already far too late to backtrack, so the couple finally decided to air their dirty laundry to the Red Table Talk about a week later. Number 4, parenting issues. This incident is not widely known at all because it happened back in 2015 when Willow was still a teen. Jada admitted on the Red Table Talk in 2019 that she was furious after CPS showed up to their family home to investigate whether or not her daughter was being starved. It all started when a young Willow was photographed lying in bed next to a shirtless family friend, Moises Arias, who was 20 at the time. While she insisted that the photo was innocent, it was definitely extremely controversial. CPS also thought so too, so they decided to intervene after they received a complaint accusing the Smiths of starving their teen. When recalling the incident, Jada admitted that it was the first time she got really furious. Quote, "I was looking at the lady, and the whole time I was thinking, you could be helping so many kids right now, and you're wasting your time with a child who has everything they need." According to the actress, both Willow and Jaden exhibited passive behavior throughout the visit from CPS, and she said that it was like their own personal protest to being investigated by the agency. Number 3 said she never wanted to marry Will. In December of 1997, the couple got married. A year later, Jaden, their first child, was born, and not long after, in 2000, they became parents of a girl they named Willow. Although Jada and Will's marriage had already surpassed 2 decades, which is a really long time when you look at other Hollywood couples, there are many secrets about their real feelings towards each other that were kept hidden from the public eye. For one, Jada eventually confessed that she did not want to marry Will. She was 3 months pregnant at the time, and she felt that she was pressured to say "I do." Quote, "I was so angry because they forced me to get married. So angry that I walked all the damn aisle to the altar crying." So on their wedding day, Jada said she got cold feet and she actually didn't want to go through with it. There was also a time when their marriage hit rock bottom, and it happened when Will realized that his wife had cried for 45 days straight over their troubled marriage. Quote, "She would wake up and start crying. She did it for 45 consecutive days. I know this because I wrote it down in a diary." Will also said that it was a time he felt worse in their marriage. This was very difficult for him because he had been trying to paint the picture of a perfect family, but it was only putting even more stress on the couple. Number 2, public beef with Chris Rock. Viewers of the 2022 Oscars were left completely in shock when Will infamously walked up on stage and slapped comedian Chris Rock across the face, all for making jokes about Jada. But what most people don't know is that the beef between the Smiths and Chris Rock actually goes back several years, so the tension has always been there. Chris once took aim at Jada while he was hosting the 2016 Oscars because the couple had very publicly decided to boycott the event. At the time, their protest was due to the fact that no actors of color were nominated for the 2nd year in a row. Chris said, quote, "Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I wasn't invited." He actually said this during his opening monologue, and it really seemed to sting the actress. The comedian also took a dig at Will at the very same time. He spoke about his performance in the movie Concussion and said it's not fair that Will was this good and didn't get nominated, then added that it's also not fair that Will was paid $20 million for Wild Wild West, which was such a burn that the couple were clearly not able to shake it off. And coming in at number 1, getting roasted at the Oscars. Will and Jada's Oscar boycott remained a topic of conversation up to and including the night of the 2016 Academy Awards. That year's host, Chris Rock, targeted the couple with a few funny jabs all about their decision not to attend, but he still supported the important movement for representation at the Oscars. He seemed to agree with their complaints that the nominations were not diverse enough, and he even called the Academy Awards the White People's Choice Awards. But then, seemingly out of nowhere, he turned his attention to Jada and started roasting her on stage. He said, "Isn't she on a TV show?" And as we know, since the Oscars do not give awards for television, then came his punchline. He said, "Jada boycotting the Oscars is like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I was not invited." And all in all, getting roasted at the Oscars is what turned Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith into a bit of a laughingstock. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please let me know what you think about in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.